Today we're going to make some little Christmas cookies, and they're kind of like peppermint swirl cookies maybe. They're red and white swirls, and they're really hard to see. Basically you're going to make it the exact same way that you made the log cake, like this, except teeny tiny. So it's really easy. It's not as bad as you think. Take a very thin slice of red, maybe on a number 6 on your Atlas pasta machine, and then take a number 4 of white, and you're gonna lay them over each other. They don't have to be absolutely perfect because you're gonna slice it. I already had one end sliced, so that one's sliced. Then I come over and cut off the excess. So I just peel that off, and then I can turn it over so I can see what I'm doing. Cut off the excess there. Cut off the excess there. So you have a nice rectangle, or pretty close to it. Oh, mine is not exactly a rectangle. There we go. It's a little better. Now you could try and save your clays. You can still take that off and still, put those back in their respective color piles. And you can also leave them flat if you're planning to make other cookies. Now at this point, you have one side red, one side white, and you're going to, well, what I like to do is I like to slightly, for the very inside, I will cut it at an angle so that way the white that's going to be the center doesn't bunch up really huge. And then you're going to have, it's kind of on a diagonal. See that? It's cut diagonal. And you start rolling. I put white on the inside, and you see how it's breaking? It's because I had this red sitting from last night and it's not warmed up very well. But it'll be okay. So don't worry about it too much. Kind of warm it, roll it slowly. Now the white is nice and warmed up, but the red is cracking really bad. It'll be okay though. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, I'm going to worry about it, but I'm going to try and get it to work anyway. It's going to love me. Or I'll make it. As you can tell, I'm getting a bit of a sore throat, so please ignore that. Now your ends are going to look absolutely awful. Don't worry about it. They're supposed to. That's what they do. Take the end and roll it and cut at the same time, and then you can see what you have in the middle. Ooh, pretty. And then what I like to do on the end is you can squish that. So if you're not going to see the back side, it's going to be ugly, but you're going to have a nice big cookie there. You could even texture it and make it look like a slice of cake if you wanted to, and that would not be what we're making exactly. It's way too big, but I'll keep that for another project. Do something else with it. Now this line here, what you'd see would be the, well, if it were the cake, it'd be the bottom, but it doesn't really matter. I want my cookies to be really tiny. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and first of all, I'm going to put it in my hand. Let me back you up. And I'm going to warm it up, because I just didn't make it warm. I didn't warm it up this morning. I just let it sit there. So that was bad of me. Now, I'm going to take it to make it smaller. I'm going to start gently, evenly, roll it. Doesn't have to be perfect, not at all. And you'd only roll it as small as you want your cookies around, because you're going to slice them. You're going to slice your cookies just like, a Nestle Toll House roll of cookies. And you can make them, always make this smaller and smaller, but you can never make it bigger, so don't overdo it. And I think that's about right. And you're always going to cut off your ends. I didn't have to cut off that end first, but it doesn't really matter. Now you can see the first one. Let me get closer for you. First one is much bigger than the second one. And you can always shape it into a circle. See the size difference here? And you can make it smaller and smaller, but this is the size I want. So I'm just going to go back to here. Keep rolling it and cut and roll at the same time. Slice your cookies. And I like to make sure they're round. And and I need an oven pan, but my cookies are already over here. See my cookies? These are some other Christmas cookies we'll be making. If you check my other tutorials, you should find them. The gingerbread snowman, star, and then that's the circle one, and that's just a little cookie. So, excuse me, we're going to pretend that this little wooden round is a cookie pan. Here, I always want to do it at the top here. And you could put your cookies right in the oven. You just slice a few. Try and make them as uniform as possible, just like you would other cookies. Uh-oh, I didn't spin that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then if you can see that, I did not make it very round. It's flat on one side. Okay, now I'm going to use my fingers and kind of round it out some more. Never throw away your clay that you do mess up, because you can always do stuff other than letting your kid play with it. There's always stuff to do with your spare clay, your clay that's ugly, that's messed up, that's mixed with other colors. Just don't throw it away. There's stuff to do with it. So anyway, those would be your cookies. Then you could throw this entire little tray, wood and all, in the oven, and you bake it, and it's a little bit different for each kind of clay, so you can ask. I will try and write down the different baking times for the different clays, so you can just read it on my channel, and then you'll know how long to cook them. So those are the Peppermint Swirl cookies. Once these are baked, you can go back and put them on a plate or on this and use triple thick to glaze it. After they're completely cooked and cooled, go back and put your triple thick on top of it, and that'll make a nice clear glaze. As you can see from Catherine's bowl of food, whatever it is, we have it glazed, and it's nice and shiny, and it also acts as a glue so you don't lose it. Makes it super hard, and then nothing will eat it either. Well, except maybe your kid, so keep it away from them.